It's a bit of a reality show, no? We're looking at reality. Reality is not very pleasant. But then, reality has so many wonderful things. Reality can give you Krishna. So Krishna has everything. All the money in the world belongs to Krishna. Oh, I was giving an example of the pants. So all the fibers are made by God. They're grown, they're coming from some living entity. And somebody gave the water to grow the plant, and somebody gave the earth to plant it in, somebody gave the fiber, the seeds, and somebody knew how to cut it and to make string from it, and they made a pant. So many people did something, nothing to do with you. And you think it's your pants just because you paid 10 euros. But even your 10 euros, they were not yours, that was also given to you by the grace of God. Everything is grace. You cannot say something is mine, because it's not true. History will prove you wrong. History will prove you wrong. History will show that you have nothing. So therefore, the yoga instruction is, accept your karma, all the money belongs to God, all the beautiful women belong to Krishna, and all the fame belongs to Gurudeva. So what you are left with? You know what you're left with? You are left with their love. But when you don't want to accept that, you're not getting their love, because they say, I, me, mine, it is mine, I'm holding on to it. And I will not share. And all the rest of that you know by heart, what's going on in this world. So much insensitivity that it is absolutely amazing. So we have to go and understand that our life is simply a learning, a testing experience. We are here to become detached. It's like you should renounce the world before the world renounces you. That's as simple as it is. Because the world will renounce you. So if you renounce the world before, then there's nothing to worry about. Because then you will say, okay, in this world everything belongs to God, and I will use it for His service, if it is being given to us. Like I myself, I give you a practical example. I never had a job in my life. I never got a paycheck in my life. I'm not the proprietor of anything. I cannot claim anything in this world my own. But at the same time, the paradox is that wherever I go, I'm helping them to manage the farm, the eco-village, the this, the that, anything. Because it's not mine, it's there. Then when the other day a person, he called me up, says, I want you to take $100,000 for managing in Vrindavan. I said, why? No, I have no time. He says, yeah, I want you to have this, because I know that you're not going to steal it. So when you're honest, when you're doing the things right, then more things come to you. It's like strange. Whatever you want to have, you can't get. When you don't want to have it, then you get it. So it's something like this. It's like a trial and error situation in this material world. So if you want to understand that this human form of life is wonderful, then you will be able to appreciate. You will be able to appreciate that even though you are not the owner of anything, the whole thing has been at your disposal. Today, I went to see my father's property in Wheeler Mountains, the 7 lakes. Oh, what a beautiful farm my father has there. Of course, it's my father's, so it's mine too. No? I mean, it's mine means it's really mine, because I was there today. And I can recommend others, go there. It's such a beautiful place. God-given place, a nature sanctuary. Why do you have to have a title registered in the notary for you to feel something is yours? It doesn't matter. You are the owner of that which you respect, love and serve. If you respect something, if you love somebody or something, or serve some cause, it's all yours. Like if you serve your country, if you're a national hero, you want to do everything, but then you feel, oh, this is my Bulgaria. If you're just a thief, you would say, Bulgaria has given me one room for free in jail. At least I got one room for free in the winter. Like, it is paradox. It is, you could say the whole thing is a big joke. But once you get up, you stay out there and organize there. When you understand that everything in this world is a test for you, when you understand it's a test for you to get close to God, to learn about God, if you understand that, then you will be so grateful. You will be grateful about death, you will be grateful about diseases, you will be grateful about losses, you will be grateful about the world economic crisis. Finally, that thing is having a crisis. Because everybody's just living in sin and nonsense. Finally, they're going to go bankrupt. Those silly United States. Huh? Doing all nonsense, living at the cost of everybody on the planet, and doing and cheating and lying and stealing and everywhere and killing anybody. So they gotta have a reaction, don't they? I mean, everybody gets a reaction. You also will get a reaction for all the waste of money you do, for all the cheating of women you do, for all the misuse of the body you do. It's terrible, you know, some people don't want to learn. Even they know what's wrong, they still want to do it. No, you can't help it, no? They gotta feel it. They gotta have a solid reaction. And that's the way it goes. It's not that the teacher or the government wants to chastise their citizens or the student. They don't. But sometimes as a pedagogic measure, they feel, if I don't give this guy a little lesson, he's not gonna learn it ever. We all believe in that. What do you do if you have two kids and one kid always likes to pull the hair of the other so much that the other, from the big pain, starts screaming and crying? Then you tell your kid, you stop pulling the hair of your brother. No. And next day, same thing, pulling hair, every day pulling hair. And he's like a tyrant by pulling hair. Then finally you say, come here. And you pull his hair. Ah! And you pull again. You know what that feels like? It's horrible. So that's what you're doing to your brother. You cannot do that. At some point, education has to reach that level. And everybody practices this. Every parent with two children will do the same thing. It's a natural thing, a natural procedure. So if we are intelligent, we can learn by hearing. We don't have to suffer. And by the way, even if suffering is up, if there's suffering waiting for you, then accept that. And say, thanks my Lord for sending so little suffering. I should probably get it 10 times more. But you're just sending a little so that I become more aware and more conscious about you. A yogi doesn't mind suffering. As a yogi endures cold, heat, he endures so many difficulties because he knows this is not really important. There's only one thing which is really important. That is whether you are with God or not. Whether you are learning to love God or not. That's the only thing which really is important. Because in this world, without love, life is simply not bearable. It's unbearable. And that's why people take intoxication. Because they can't bear it. They can't bear their job, they can't bear their wife, they can't bear their looks, they can't bear anything. They can't bear their politics. So they they consider life unbearable. They don't see that in this there is a big important lesson. In Kalayama Shasvatam, as Krishna says the material world is full of misery. Take notice and do something about it. At least in your life. At least in your family. Make sure it's not that miserable. At least make sure you are not one of those animal killers. You know, veal? They call it baby beef. You like to eat babies? Of course you are not, but in case there's somebody. They take the little calf away from the cow as soon as it is born. And they lock this little baby in a dark room, in such a little chamber that it cannot turn around. Then they stick something in the mouth and feed it with all kinds of gooky, horrible stuff, which makes this little baby fat quickly. And then you only wait 3 months or something, and then that little calf baby is simply taken out from there, sees the day of the sun, the light of the sun, when they put it into the transporter and next to the slaughterhouse. Now whoever is behind that industry, whoever eats that meat, I'm sorry, you know, you're gonna get it. And you should get it. I don't think there's any excuse under the sun for this. When God has given you peaches, watermelons, apples, vegetables, grains, nuts, anything and everything, the most richest food you can imagine, God has given in China, in Bulgaria, in Germany, everywhere. And we do this horrible thing with the animals. It was just one example. Because there's not only baby beef, not only baby cows, there's baby pigs and baby chicken, and there's all babies. We are the society of baby killers. Because all these animals which we eat in the society, they never even became like 5-year-olds. They're all babies. So it's a really nasty way man is conducting his ways, and this is karmic. So this you should not accept. You should accept your karma, but you should not accept that karma is created in your family by yourself, which you can change in order to help people and to do things nicely. There you have to become an activist. I am a little tired by seeing the lack of activism. Everybody looking for his own benefits, his soft cushions, decorate your wall and all kinds of things. But when it comes to activism for anything good, so rare to find an active person. So extremely rare. Most people want to do nothing, not to move a finger. What? They're destroying the Amazon jungle? That's far away. It doesn't bother me. Hey! They are destroying that jungle so that you can have your hamburgers at these horrible cheap prices. The real price of that hamburger, you are not paying. This is being paid by our planet afterwards, by all this destruction, devastation done. This is not fantasy. We have a wonderful fruit in Colombia. It's called chacha fruit. It is a tree which gives beans, which are that long, and each one is as big as a little potato. And there's a tree 14 meters high, and on 1 hectare of land, this tree gives 30% more protein than soy. Man has no reason to do what they're doing. But the big industries, they want to control everything by mass production. For them it's not convenient to have people climb up the trees to get all the beans. They want to send, maybe you've seen the pictures in Food Inc. or any of those documentaries. They are having like 40 huge tractors, planting one or next to each other. They are planting 200,000 hectares at once. And they have these things that everything is chemical, GMO, and there's no more living entities except Monsanto soy. And that's going into your hamburger, my friend. And that's why we have no jungle there. And this is all a nonsense. It's a total abuse of the land, of the world. But people don't want to move a finger for that. Not for me. Huh? A German caricaturist, famous, called Wilhelm Busch, he made once a cartoon, and he said, the people in this world, they say, hey, 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 you are suffering, but it doesn't touch me, so what do I care? So this is like almost feeling pleasure when other people fare bad. And what is the solution for all these things? Yeah, that's Prabhupada told me this morning. We were listening in class. He said the solution is simple. The solution is conscious consumer. You can only participate. You have to boycott all those things which are disastrous for the planet. Now we have the third time I mentioned the phenomena, and you are not taking care of it, that everybody is within. The people can come in, don't block the entrance, it's boring, it's disturbing me. Come here to the front if you speak English. Why don't you think for the speaker? Every class has to have a receptionist with half a brain to make sure the class is not disturbed, and it's like organizing that this is nice and the people feel happy and comfortable and senior people are received and a cushion is there, something like that. Anyway, so my plea to all of you is that you have to rethink what your desires should be. If you don't change your desires, nothing will change. And if you want to become a revolutionary, then associate with those who are revolutionaries, but not revolutionaries in the world of politics, revolutionaries in the world of love. Revolutionaries which stop the mistreatment of our animal brothers. Haribol. Revolutionaries who are actually fearless and who say what has to be said. Why is our world so corrupt today? I tell you, because we are all corrupt. And when people see corruption, they don't say much. The other day, believe it or not, in New Delhi, one famous yogi called Ramdev, he went to protest about all the money stolen from India and put into Swiss banks. So he got 20,000 of his friends and followers, and they went together to make a sit-in in front of a government building. He says, we want that money back which has been stolen from India by the ministers, and then So what did they do? They sent the army to beat up a yogi, and 20,000 men and women sitting there peacefully because they said, we want this stealing to stop. They beat them so much that finally they all run away. Poor people. So that's why this world is so corrupt, because we are corrupt. Any meat eater is a corrupt person. He's completely corrupt. He doesn't mind to send people into concentration camp so that finally he can cut off their head and then eat them and say, oh, nice chicken. That chicken comes from a concentration camp. You've seen those pictures of the concentration camps. So the chicken, they're living just like that. Little boxes, they can't even turn around. All these nonsense. The corruption is going on. People are so corrupt, they have corrupted consciousness. They buy a cigarette pack where it says, this will kill you, give me 2. Huh? Okay, okay. What the heck? Life is horrible anyway, so let me kill myself. Slow death, quick death. People are corrupted. Why? Why they are so corrupted? Because they do not consider their eternal life. They do not consider their eternal beauty. They do not consider their true internal sweetness. I just look at all of you. I don't have to look in a newspaper, I don't have to look. I look at each one of you and I must tell you what I see. I'm not trying to just charm you. I see a wonderful guy, a wonderful, sweet person, so intelligent, so bright, such a potential, such an amazing creature. When I see you, I just go, whew, where do all these beautiful people come from? Who has made them? What are they going to do? And then they turn around and go home and turn on the television and do nothing, and I don't know what the heck is going on. Who has brainwashed us so much that beauty becomes ugly and sanity becomes insanity and health becomes disease? You know, we have very healthy body. We can do lots of sports when we're young, no? People are jumping down, hanging in the, doing so much athletic stuff. When you see it, you go, wow, that a human being can do? And then later they become fat couch potatoes, eating potato chips and things like that, and they forget about everything. They do everything wrong. And then they go and they vote for somebody who just, for the election, speaks a few lies, and then as soon as he's in office, he starts raping and reaping and stealing from the whole country and sending it to his Swiss bank account. And Mr. Swiss banker says, thanks a lot for all those goodies. Huh? Of course we have number accounts, we are very secretive about it. I mean, it's not that I am interested in politics. I don't really care for politics. I also don't care for karma. But I know that if you don't understand karma and you don't take action when you can do, when you can make a difference, if you don't do that, then this will only repeat for yourself. You will come back again and again. You will come back. This is not your last life. You'll come back again and again. Sometimes a dog, sometimes it's a beautiful racehorse. Yes. Real blue blood, you know, from Arabia. And then some millionaire lady is going to buy you for $750,000, and she's going to put around all your legs some things, and then she's going to make you jump over all these obstacle rides, no? I don't know how you call it here. No? And the poor horse, and as soon as the poor horse knocks one of their legs and breaks, go to the slaughterhouse. Rich lady's going to get another one. It's the same thing. There's no piety. I spoke to one rich lady recently. She was a horse owner and she was doing exactly that, no? And she was feeling so guilty. She said, because to fix the leg is possible, but that will never be a racing horse again. So we don't want to spend so much money. The racing horse is only valuable as long as the leg is not broken. Nice horse friends, no? So this is what we are doing. We are just making all kinds of strange things with other living entities, with the planet. We make so many strange things, and we don't want to change. And we are surprised when this world is in turmoil. Why are we living in countries full of anxiety? The governments, or whoever they are so ruthless. They are so ruthless. In all this poverty, or supposed to be poverty. Just now there was the big debate in America. And the Republicans said, definitely no raising taxes. Definitely cut the service for the poor. That went all over the press in the world. No, we don't want to pay more taxes. Well, you just imagine that, you know. Let's cut the service for the old ladies who have no jobs and who are like sick. This is the world where we can understand that the people have no more values. And this is the corruption which is going on. And you have to change this. You have to change it for you, in your world, in your house, in your home, in your city, in your country. I'm just a traveling mendicant. I can say any darn thing I want because tomorrow I'm gone. When they come for me, I'm gone already. So I can fearlessly say what's going on. Crooks and thieves have taken over the world and just doing the same thing with the whole rest of the crooks and thieves. And the others say don't say anything because they're wishing when I get elected. For them, getting a job in government is like winning the lottery. Now we can officially steal. And of course there's no money for nothing, and all the rest of the world, you can imagine, no, what it's like. And worse things. I could just go off. But why do I mention all these things? Because it is our money desire, our sex desire, our intoxication desire, which makes us partners of this cheating operation. That's why. A man who is drunk, he cannot have a good criteria. Actually, many people get drunk not because they love to get drunk, just because they cannot tolerate their life. Then they're drunk, they lose their temper, they lose their concentration, they lose their ability to control themselves. Then they go home and what they do? They beat their own wife. This is a daily affair all around the world. It's not only happening in Bulgaria, it's happening in every country. People, when they're drunk, they beat up their own family sometimes. They terrorize. So of course, how can you be happy if you're doing or participating in terrorizing others, putting them in anxiety? So we have to understand that it is our job to change. How more misery you need to see that you will become a spiritual revolutionary. You should become a messenger of love, and you should open your mouth and tell what's good for us and what's bad for us. Of course, you have to give an example. That's the price you have to pay. If I, after all I say, light up a cigarette and take out a bottle of alcohol, then you really should call the police and say, we met the worst hypocrite, and he should quickly be put behind bars. You have to give an example if you want to open your mouth. People talk about environment and they eat meat. That don't make sense. Eating meat is the worst thing for the environment, already proven scientifically. So we want for this world Brahmins, leaders, who are ready to go out and speak the truth and propose to people to become part of the solution. We are not hateful. We don't want to destroy anybody. We even love those who do all that nonsense. Why? Because they are our brothers. They are our brothers and sisters. If I'm sitting here and being a vegetarian, it's only due to this gentleman there on the picture up there. I mean, really, he made me a vegetarian. And he also convinced me to do many other things, which I never thought of doing. And he made me stop many things which I never thought of I would not do. He was very convincing, I tell you. So I'm very indebted to him. He left the world 1977. That's a long time ago. But I live for him, I live by his grace, and I still give all the honor to him. And not because I'm a sentimentalist. Because I love a whole lot of other people too. And I appreciate a whole lot of other people too. But still, the higher taste is given to people when they're in need. And I was in that need. And he came and gave me that higher taste. I love it to be a spiritual revolutionary. I was before an admirer of Che Guevara. Why? Well, because I thought he was one man. He was going against the whole country of abusers and said, this cannot go on, let's fight against it. So I thought this guy must be great. Later, when I found out more about the situation, the violence and all that, then I realized this is not a solution. So I was looking for a revolutionary like Jesus Christ. I mean, he was a revolutionary, come on. He went into the temple and he threw out all the marketeers who were selling animals there. And he picked a fight with the Pharisees, with all the big priests, the Jewish priests, so much, finally they decided to kill him. The Romans were ready to forgive Jesus. I mean, that's what the story tells, right? But the Jews said, no. This guy says the king of the Jews, get him on the cross. So that is how much he defied the hypocrite.
Even just the religious people did that.
Whatever is the situation, you have to become a revolutionary if you want to be somebody who can look in the mirror and say, I fought for a good solution of this world. In my small way, I'm not an illusion. I don't think we can change things, but at least we should change our mistakes. And we should voice when we see the mistakes which destroy our planet and our habitat, our beautiful forests, our beautiful mountains, everything is turned into rubble. You see, we have to reduce our energy consumption, for example. We have to gain the higher taste. It's actually our business. And we give a good example. Our temple gives a good example. We have no furniture, unnecessary furniture. We do not have any unnecessary artifacts. We are not wasting in anything. If we want to paint the wall, we ourselves would paint the wall. We can make nice paintings. So many things. We can do everything ourselves. That's cottage industry. That's what's desirable. Industries are not desirable for the planet. Maybe some exceptions are there. And then there should be very strong vigilance about the environmental impact. Why should one industry be allowed to contaminate a river where thousands of people later get affected by it? Why should that be? Is there no other way around? There is. There's always a way around. But for those who have the moving the big money and the influences, for them it's the most practical to contaminate the river. And it's the most practical for them to produce energy at the cost of an entire space of the country. You see, in the consciousness of love, you will understand that what I'm saying is an issue of love. I'm not saying an issue of hate. I'm not a hate monger. He says, let's be hateful to the rich and let's kill the rich and take their riches away. No. Always somebody has riches in this world. Always somebody has power in this world. That's not our business. My message is that this is the concern of love. This is the impulse of love. You don't want your animal friends to suffer. You don't want the people to do things which are simply against the welfare of everyone. And if you don't believe me, my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, he was that revolutionary. And this is his manual. You want to find out what a revolution means, then read the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. This is a revolution manual without a comparison. And it explains you the insights and the reasons and why you have to take certain actions in your life. It shows you the beauty of being a love revolutionary. Nothing to lose, but all to gain. But you won't get a job with the government, that I guarantee you. When they see your personal record, they say, no. This guy's trouble. So you have to be able to risk something. But you will only gain. You will gain so much self-esteem. You will gain so many sincere friends. You will gain so much positive acquisitions in the mission of your life. That you could definitely say life is worth living. In the fight for the truth, life is worth living. I'm living a huge adventure. You cannot imagine the adventure I'm living. I don't need to see movies. I'm living in one. And from every point of view, I can tell you that it's worth the while to be a spiritual revolutionary of love. And we started it with the spoon revolution. That's a simple humoristic word of saying taking care of Mother Nature, taking care of the animals, taking care of things which are totally neglected nowadays. But the true revolution goes much further than that. The true love revolution really goes to re-establish again the dignity of man, women, children, young people, sick people, old people. To return the faith into humanity for embracing their need to solve the problems which they have to face in a very wonderful way. And today in the internet age, where practically everybody knows everything if they wish to, it is a time to question What can we do to please the creator of this world? But the United Nations and many other institutions, the majority of them, they have decided that it is prohibited to speak about God. The United Nations chapter was released by 3 people. The ambassador of Russia, the ambassador of America, who later was found out to be a Russian spy, and a Britisher who was a declared enemy of God. These 3 gentlemen issued the chapter towards the United Nations that no God should ever be mentioned in any of the activities and releases and whatever. You know, before you swear by God, that was still a practice, no? But in the United Nations and in the international gatherings, even you will find that they're meeting at Greenpeace and nobody will say the word God. They're meeting at Amnesty International and nobody will say the word of God. The Dentists Association will come together and nobody will say the word of God, because they have eliminated to consider a transcendental reality beyond our material misery. They just say, we are miserable, that's meant to be that way, and we are the ones who take advantage that the misery will not touch us, but rather others. So we are the guys with the fortune, so let's go on like this. So if you want to put it like this, in Kali Yuga, there's a humongous struggle whether God has any validity or he doesn't. And so far, at this point, you could say that the westernized society, our world, has turned completely towards nihilism and atheism in so many different ways and words. I see you soon. Haribol.
Haribol. Haribol.
Give her some prashada. So in a world where you're not allowed to talk about God, and where the children are not allowed to learn about God, where it is a faux pas to speak by the grace of God in God's creation or in Mother Nature's creation, you are not allowed to give credit to any transcendental background. Do you really wonder why people are so corrupt and ruthless with each other? They are following a philosophy which is called the law of the jungle. The one who hits first gets the advantage. So if you are sitting here so silently and peacefully, yeah, now let me take quickly advantage of that, and bang, I give him one over the head and take his wallet, and he's lying there, and I said, well, I was smart. I hit first. I didn't wait for him to hit me. So this is the morality of the law of the jungle. And that's what the politicians practice. Of course, with some certain lacing of justice and what they call it, ethics. But this is the biggest hoax. There aren't no ethics in this world, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Somalia, in all these places. There is no ethics there. Every war on the planet is being fought just for money. It's a money-making machine, war. So, if we do not bring theism and respect for the trend, now some people say, why you want to introduce God? Do we need God? And immediately they say, oh, you want to promote your God because you are some fanatic and you want to say that you can save all the world or something like that. No? But here our issue we are talking about is really not my God, your God or anything. It's a question of soul. Does the soul exist or not? Let's not even talk about God. Let's simply talk about the fact what makes this body live. Is it a chemical solution? Is it a formula? Or is there some spirit inside which is independent from the physical form? And when the physical form is dead, it will go on. Now we can make a votation. Of course it's not completely fair because you are all long-term friends here. Let's simply ask. Everybody who believes that there is a soul which continues to exist after the body died, please lift your arm. We are the majority, no? But only in this room. We are not the majority out there. People have been so brainwashed that it is ridiculous to consider something transcendental, that they have eliminated this consideration. And that is they called it secular. And we understand them. Secularists, they are very, very important people in this planet, because before the secularists came into power, we had other people in power. And you probably know who they are. And they would kill anybody who didn't do the way they want. They tyrannized the entire planet. And they went by the name of Christians. And they said, we can do that because everybody else who doesn't follow us doesn't have a soul anyway. So, you can kill them whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And we have to say Muslims did their part also in that. So, then the secularists came to save the world from these guys. But the secularists, they did not remain impartial. They didn't remain faithful to their ideals, that we have to find the truth and we have to sponsor the welfare of all living entities. No, they became the allies of commerce and consumerism, and they favored anything and everything in the planet which makes money for the rich. And God and morality and all that, that doesn't fit in there very well. So they took it upon themselves to make the world completely consumer conscious. And that is why our children are suffering so much. That's why our governments are completely corrupt. Because who are the governments? The governments are the children of yesterday who gained some power, and now they're managing our world in that way. We ourselves did this this irresponsible act of letting our values go to hell, because some of us abused them so much. So we need a true spiritual science. And what is the spiritual science? Is to understand what is the position of the soul. And what is the benefit of the soul. I tell you, the soul is your capital. Your body is your problem. But if you understand that you're a soul, you can make your body to be a capital as well. If you don't understand that you're the soul, your body will be your cause of increased difficulties and pain. No capital. Thank you so much for listening. I know my words were not very pleasant today. I wasn't even planning to speak like that. But I don't think it's bad sometimes to have a certain wake-up call. And then you may ask, what shall we do in practice? And I can tell you that you have to discuss with your intimate friends. You have to make the plans, you have to make the difference. You have to see how to put something in motion for the welfare of all. The love revolution starts in everybody's home. And it goes to his workplace, and it goes to his school, and it goes everywhere. The love revolution will be in motion because you keep it in motion. And my spiritual master said, the words, the wheels have to keep moving. The wheels have to keep moving. That is the slogan of the Indian railways. Because if the wheels stop moving, the whole thing grinds to halt. It's not possible. So regardless what happens in life, the wheels have to keep moving. And you have to make the wheels move in your own little field. Don't wait for me to come there and move your wheels. But I did challenge a little bit tonight, and I requested you to become revolutionaries of love. And if you are a vegetarian, don't wait for people to ask you, why are you a vegetarian? Long time before they ask you, you ask them, why do you still eat meat? Then you are an activist of vegetarians. Otherwise you're some little chewing gum there. Huh? Because it's a good question. Why are you still eating meat? Of course, then you smile. It says, because I have something much better than meat. It's called prasad, vegetarian delights. In other words, we care for the planet. We care for the residents, for the citizens of this planet. If you can turn a meat eater into a vegetarian, you are his eternal best friend of this life. There's only one better friend later than you. That's the one who teaches how to love God. That's even a higher gift. Or somebody who can show the other person the soul. And there's so many hundreds of other considerations as well. A true revolutionary of love, he has a lot of things to say. But I don't want to tire you now. And there's a wonderful prasadam waiting for you also. So, anyhow, create cells. Cells means cells of consciousness, where you meet with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 activists, and you start getting active. Don't even communicate so much with other activists. That makes it more successful. Because it's up to the activists to find out a way to penetrate this society. And always with love. And you will see what a wonderful life you will have and what wonderful people you will meet. Just like I meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Any questions, any comments? Don't hesitate. It's late. Let's have nice prashadam. Thank you. Hare Krishna.